Hello everyone, how's it going? This is going to be another one of those videos where I'll be sharing my interview experience, and in this video I'll be sharing my Amazon interview experience. And I appeared for Amazon interviews twice. One for a position in India and another one for a position in Vancouver. So let's get started. Okay, so first thing first, how did I apply for a position on Amazon? So a recruiter from Amazon reached out to me on LinkedIn. So that's why I always say that keep your LinkedIn profile up to date so that recruiters can reach out to you. So one recruiter from Amazon reached out to me over LinkedIn and she, said she was approaching me for an SD2 position, which is a software development engineer 2 position. And this was my very first FANG interview. So I asked her to give me some time. Before I asked, actually, she called me because I shown my interest that I want to appear for the Amazon interview. So she took my number, she called me, and we had a long 40 to 50 minutes discussion where she asked about my experience, what kind of work I have done, and she also shared what I can expect in Amazon interviews and how can I prepare for it. So because it was my very first FANG interview, I asked her to give me some time because I did not just simply want to go for the interview. So I asked her some time and I was preparing on the side, but that opportunity got lost. It was closed, lost. So she never came back. So I asked one of my friend who is working in Amazon Dublin office as a network engineer to refer me for one of the position in India, and I applied for a Salesforce application engineer, or I think Salesforce development engineer position in India. It was not SD2. SD is different, that is software development engineer. But I appeared for Salesforce development engineer, which is quite different. So he referred me, and within the very same week, I got a call from one of the recruiter, and I think his name was Nagarjuna, if I remember it correctly. And all these things happened around, I guess, October 2019. It's last year. So this guy reached out to me. He again explained everything and asked my experience and everything. And then he scheduled my online screening round, which is a 45 minutes coding round. So one of the guy from Amazon joins the call. He shares a coding problem and you get to write the code. So he scheduled that round, and he also shared a doc, an Amazon share doc for the interview, which I can use to write my code. So that went well. I appeared for the interview. One of the guy from Amazon joined, and this interview was on the DS and Algo. It was not on Salesforce platform. It was a normal DS Algo. I don't remember the problem actually because it was long back. But even if I would have remembered, I'm not allowed to actually share that with you guys. But I do know that it was a medium level coding problem. So you can go to LeetCode and start preparing for the medium level problems. If you are applying for a Salesforce developer position, they are not going to give you a hard level problem. So just keep focusing on easy and medium level problems. So that round went well. The problem was, I guess, on array manipulation. So this is same. I got the similar problem in Google interview round as well. It was around arrays only, not the exact same problem, but again it was on array manipulation. So if you haven't watched my Google interview experience, I'm going to put a card right over here, and you can check out my Google interview experience as well. And I have also shared my Salesforce interview experience as well, which I'll also put in the description. So yeah, that round went well. The key to success in this coding round is your technical communication. If you are not communicating your thought process, most likely you will be failed in the interview. The reason being, the interviewer will never know what's going through your mind, how you are approaching a problem. So whenever they paste the problem in the doc, in the shared doc, first try to find all the edge cases. So if the edge cases are not mentioned in the problem statement, which most likely won't be, then you need to find those edge cases, and you need to clarify the problem first. Like, okay, if I give this sample input, should I expect this output? So, clear everything first before you start writing your solution. So first clarify the problem thoroughly, then take your time, maybe like couple of minutes or a minute. Think this through, think for different solutions that can come to your mind. Start with a brute force solution so that you at least have something to write about. You don't have to, think of the most optimal solution in the very first go. So first think of a brute force solution that you can write. Then you can think of optimizing it. So once you have a fair idea of the solution that you are going to write, discuss this with your interviewer. Share like this is how you will be approaching this problem, and if it is optimal enough, then your interviewer will simply say like, yeah, go ahead, this is a good way to start. Else he'll give you some points like, okay, can we do it in this way, or can we reduce the time complexity? Because when you will be sharing your solution, most likely you will also be sharing the time and space complexity in the very first go before you write the solution. So they may ask you to modify it, or they may ask you to think of a different solution before you start writing the code, so that you don't waste any of your time writing the solution and the interviewer's time as well. So once you both are on the same page, then you should start writing your solution, and that's when your technical communication is the major thing. Whenever you write your solution, keep explaining it to the interviewer. So if you are not someone who can write and speak at the same time, then what you can do is like first write your a couple of lines of code, and then explain this to your interviewer that this is what I've done in these 2 lines. Or maybe like you can first explain like this is what I'll be going to do, and then write those couple of lines. But keep explaining your code, because if something is going wrong, your interviewer can give you some hints like you are going in wrong direction. So before you waste all your time in writing an incorrect solution, they may give you a hint and they can put you back to you on the right path. For me, it wasn't a problem because I do record a lot of videos where I write the code and speak the solution as well. So that's the key to success in these coding rounds. So this online screening round went well. After that, I got my feedback that I cleared this round, and that's when they schedule your on-site rounds. So in the on-site rounds, you need to go to the Amazon office and go through multiple interviews in the very same day. So for me, I had 4 interviews. 2 of them were coding round, and surprisingly, both of them were on Salesforce. They were not on DS and Algo. So I got lucky. I'm not sure if this will be the case with you guys as well. So for me, the only DS and Algo round was my online screening round. After that, it was all on Salesforce. These 2 coding rounds, plus there was a system design round. There was no system integration round. It was only a system design round, or you can also call it the application design round. And after that, there is something called bar raiser round. So this bar raiser round is very important for all the Amazon interviews. I'll tell you about it when we'll get to that point. But first, let's talk about these 2 coding rounds. The first one was on Apex. It was about writing Apex trigger. Again, a simple parent to child relationship kind of thing. I'm going to put a card here about my mock coding interview, my mock Google coding interview, where I covered a similar set of problems. So you can go through that, where Ranjan explained a solution very nicely. That will help you, prepare for this round. So yeah, it was a simple parent to child relationship kind of thing where I had to write a trigger, and I did good in that round. After that, I went for my next coding round, and this time it was not one single question, rather there were 3 questions, because I completed the solution before the time allocated to me. So instead of completing the one solution in 40 minutes, I completed my first one within 20 minutes. So that can happen with you actually. So if you write your solution quickly, then the interviewer may ask you more questions. Although they come up with the agenda to ask 1 or 2 coding questions, but they may ask you more based on how much time you are taking. And also I felt that in this round, their focus was to know whether I can code in all the areas of Salesforce, like in the front end as well and the back end. And one more thing that I forgot to tell you is, like, in both of these coding rounds, it was not a shared doc where I was writing my code. It was the whiteboard where I was writing my code, because I went to the Amazon office, and I was in the meeting room where they were taking my interview, and all the code that I was writing, I had to write it on the whiteboard. So I would say practice this as much as you need to, because we generally write our code in a code editor where the code editor gives us our suggestions. It completes most of our syntax. So it's very natural that we forget the syntax. So until unless you keep practicing it, chances are that you will forget the syntax in your coding interview, and that doesn't look good because they expect you to write the production level code. Although they might ignore some of the syntax errors, but they still want you to be as much as accurate as you can be. So in this round, the very first problem was on the integration. So they gave me a dummy service. For example, since I cannot give you the exact question, let me just phrase something around that. So let's say Salesforce had to communicate with Alexa services. So if a user talks to Alexa about getting the case update from Salesforce, then the Alexa should go to Salesforce, fetch the case detail, and then give it back to the user. So this was the thing. So you just need to write the REST service or web service or call out whatever you are going to write in a solution. So I did it in 15-20 minutes. Then they asked me to write a lightning component, and then I think if I remember it correctly, they also asked me to write a lightning web component as well. And since I worked very well in both of these areas, so I did not have any trouble to write the code or even designing the solution as well. I designed it very nicely, and I think the interviewer was impressed with the solution that I was writing. So those were my coding rounds. Make sure that you practice your technical communication, plus also practice writing the code on a paper or on a board or maybe on a doc, so you remember the syntax. After that, my next round was the system design round, or you can also call it application design round. Again, this was somehow related to Salesforce, although it doesn't matter in system design round, because they don't only check your Salesforce knowledge, they also check your knowledge of how well you know about the web development methodologies, how two systems communicate to each other, how do you build a system, like what are the technical challenges can be there, how you choose a database, how do you choose a web service, and all that stuff. So that went well. Again, I forgot the question. I'm sorry, I cannot give you more details here because this happened long back. But I think I shared a scenario in my Google interview experience, so you can check out that video. So it was similar to that. After the system design round, I think I did well there as well. It did not last for the complete 45 minutes. I think we were done in 30 to 35 minutes only. The interviewer did not use the complete 45 minutes of time. Then the next one was the bar raiser round, and it is a very important round because Amazon's culture is, or what Jeff Bezos said when he was initially hiring the employees of Amazon, is like every next employee that we will be hiring should raise the bar of our existing talent. So if the existing talent is here, the next candidate that we'll be hiring should be here. It should beat the existing talent bar. So that's why they call it bar raiser round. And trust me, if all your interviews went well and this one did not go well, you will not be selected. And they ask any random person to take this interview. So this person who will be taking your bar raiser round doesn't have to be working with your team, doesn't have to be working with any of your team member, or doesn't even know the role that you are applying for. His job is just to check whether you are beating the current Amazon's talent or not. So again, the key here would be to have some confidence, because this sounds terrifying but if you are confident, I think you will do well. Doesn't matter what kind of questions they'll ask you. It could be a coding question as well, or it could be your previous experience based question as well, like what you have done so far, what are the different technical challenges you faced, how you overcome those. they might put you in different situations as well, like what you will do in this situation or what you will do in this situation. So make sure that you study Amazon's leadership principle. They have 14 of those, which are pretty generic, I think, which are most relatable to the real life. Like they have a principle called bias for action, where they simply take a decision very quickly rather than going through multiple levels of approvals, whether this will fit, whether this will be beneficial for our org or not. If they like the idea, they'll simply ask you to implement it. So they have similar kind of 14 Amazon principles. So I would say that you go through those, and whatever the solution that you'll be explaining, make sure that you use the keywords of these Amazon principles in your solution. So this will give an impression that you know about Amazon principles and you think with the perspective of Amazon's principles. So this will definitely give a positive impact. After the bar raiser round, I think you will be done for that day. I was done for that day. I had my hiring manager discussion later, and that too was not on site. That was like online call, and that too went well. I got selected for the role. They gave me the offer, but I had to reject it as it did not fit what I was expecting. So I rejected that offer and kept on continuing with Salesforce. But my friend who referred me in Amazon told me that there is a similar position in Vancouver as well, and he asked me whether he should reach out to this team in Vancouver or not. I said yes, why not? And he reached out to this team here, and he said like, this guy has just gave the interviews for Amazon. He got selected, but he rejected the offer because so and so reasons. So are you guys interested in taking his interviews? I'm not sure what exactly the conversation was between my friend and the hiring manager, but they reached out to me via an email that your friend has reached out to us about this opportunity here. Are you interested? I said yes, of course, why not? And that's when they scheduled my interview again, because they cannot hire me based on the feedback of my previous interviews. But one thing that was good is they reduced some of my rounds. So this time I did not had bar raiser round. I did not had the system design round. They considered the feedback of my previous interviews, but I had the coding round and I had my hiring manager discussion as well. So, and this was pretty quick. Within a week, everything happened. Everything went, everything was online. I did not have to go to the Amazon's office this time. Interview went well. They liked my candidature. They gave me an offer, and this time I accepted it. And as soon as I accepted my offer, in the very next day they started my visa process. So they asked all my details. They gave my application to the immigration team who handles all this stuff. They gave them my application. They reached out to me to get all the details, and my visa process started. And if you want to know the journey ahead, then I have my Hindi channel where I shared my journey from India to Canada, because it was a long journey. They gave me the offer last year in February, but I came here in July this year. So it was a long journey because of COVID and all. There are other factors to it as well. So if you want, you can watch the video. Again, I'll give you the link here on the card. So, and this video is in Hindi. So if you are an English viewer, I don't think you will get much out of that video. But if you are watching it from India, then I think that will be helpful to you guys. So that's all. That's my Amazon interview experience. I hope I was able to give you some pointers to, success in these rounds. And if you have any more questions, you can comment on this video. I'll try to get back to you as soon as possible. So thank you guys for watching this video till the end. And as always, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to this channel if you came here for the very first time. And share this video with all your network, all your connections, and all your colleagues who are applying for the FAANG companies. And that's it. Thank you guys. Have fun.